So I've just stepped out the door and it's 6 a.m. and hardest thing about going for a run is taking that first step out of the door in the morning. So managed to get that far, which for me at this point isn't that all that hard, but for someone starting out, it's probably the hardest thing. Anyhow, a couple of quick ones. Yesterday I had a video on the first video on my channel, and I introduced the channel or welcomed everyone to the channel, and it was, well, I told everyone the name was Run Baby Run 81, and then I had to think about it, and I'm going to change that because I feel like Run Baby Run 81 sounds like more of an email address. So cutting a long story short, the new name is Paulie with a Y, the Runner, THE Runner, spelt normally, all one word. So that's the new name, Paulie the Runner. And I'll write that in the title of the video or somewhere on the channel, so you'll see it, or the title of the channel. So take no notice of what I said yesterday about the channel name. Anyway, today's run, I'm going to be running down the Domino Trail straight into the forest. It's pretty much a straight shot to a place called Lionville, and it's forest the whole way, 6 kilometers one way, 6 kilometers straight back the other way. So 12k run, let's go do it. The other thing I meant to say just before we do run, always remember to charge your watch, because I've got 20% battery or charge on my watch left, and I'm not sure whether that's going to make it the full 12Ks. It's not all that important. We'll do a video on this about having your watch on and looking at it too much and relying on the stats and getting bogged down in the stats too much of your run. But it is nice to have a record of what you're doing for progress as well. So anyhow, charge your watch, and that way you won't have to worry about losing all that data that you've worked so hard to achieve. All good, let's go. What's demoralizing about these straight runs is the track or the trail just seems to go on, and you're just looking up ahead at this endless road. It's quite demoralizing. In saying that, what isn't demoralizing and what makes it a bit easier is the surroundings, the nature and the bird song. So this is the run I'm doing this morning is the Domino Trail. And this is the halfway point. Well, for me, it's a halfway point. That's where I started. I ran to Lionville, and now I've got to go back. So part of the way back on the second half of this trail, or the first half coming back, you have to actually turn off the Domino Trail because the Domino Trail used to be an old railway line, and across the line at some points there are old bridges that are quite degraded, and there's one of them right there. It's so lovely, but for safety of all, they've blocked off the route over the bridges, so you've got to come into the forest a little bit and join back up after the bridge. So who really cares if your watch dies when you've got a sunrise like that? So maybe 1 or 2 kilometers left back to Trentham, and this is by far my favourite section of the trail. It's like spectacular. It's just this alleyway of pine trees with this pine straw all over the trail. It's like super nice. So, believe it or not, well, I do believe it, because in true Trentham fashion, it's turned from a magnificent sunrise into like steady, pretty heavy rain, actually. Go figure. Anyhow, made it in the end. So yeah, and in probably the last, I don't know, 100 meters, my watch died. So 20% nearly got me 12 kilometers. So yeah, that's a good indication. Anyhow, talking about watches, everyone knows, well, most people know about Strava. You log your workouts, and can be sort of weightlifting, or can be running, cycling, swimming, whatever you want to do. And you know, you can follow people and watch their progress. But what you can also do is get bogged down in, you know, athletes and their statistics, and compare yourself to them. And then you go out running, or you go out doing whatever activity you're doing, and you try and match that. It's not going to happen. So yeah, it's not going to happen. So just run your own race, and don't get bogged down in how fast you're running per kilometre, or how many kilometres you're running, because something is better than nothing. And what I find is a good way to run is based on feel. So we always have the watch on our wrist, and we tend to like glance down at it, check our pace, or check how far we've gone, or maybe a good idea is just to put your sleeve over your watch, or put your watch in your pack or your pocket, and just run on feel. And don't worry about whether or not your time is slower than someone on Strava or whatever it may be, because you're doing this for you, not anyone else, or not to try and beat anyone else. You're just doing it for you and for your own benefit, for your own health, for your own fitness, so on and so forth. So anyhow, that's all I've got to say about that. Otherwise, probably concludes today's efforts. So just under 12k is in the book today, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. So on to the next one.